Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this special meeting of the Santa Clara City Council to order. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for our statement of values? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we gather, we humbly seek blessings upon this meeting. May we act with strength, courage, and will to perform our obligations and duties to our people with justice to all. Let us seek wisdom so we may act in the best interest of our people, our neighbors, and our country. All this we ask so we may serve our community with fairness and respect, putting their needs before all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Roll call, City Clerk.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Present.
Councilmember Shahal.
Present.
Councilmember Hardy.
Present.
I'd like to let the record reflect that Councilmember Park will not be present this evening. Councilmember Jane.
Here.
And let the record reflect that also Vice Mayor Cox will not be present this evening. Mayor Gilmore.
Here.
Thank you.
We have to read all that opening statement. Do we?
I'm just going to read the Statement of Behavioral Standards.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you.
The City of Santa Clara has adopted a code of ethics and values and behavioral standards for public meetings to promote and maintain the highest levels of conduct. This includes mutual respect, robust discussion, and allowing city business to be done in an efficient and consistent manner. Please note that as a presiding officer, the mayor's direction in matters of process and decorum should be followed, and that use of the gavel indicates all conversations must conclude, and everyone in attendance should come to order and attention. Welcome and thank you for your participation.
I'll just read the part that says we're on Zoom. Okay, good evening, everyone. For today's meeting, the council's back in person and is conducting its meeting in a hybrid manner. The public is welcome to attend in person, and the city continues to use a Zoom feature to allow participation from your home or office. Members of the public can still join via the link and/or call into the Zoom meeting phone number shown on the screen now, although we don't have public participation or public presentations tonight. This is a special meeting for interviews for 2 commissions. So we are going to move now on to the council agenda. All right, so the first item we have is interview, action to conduct applicant interviews and appoint 1 applicant to the Historical and Landmarks Commission to serve 1 full term ending June 30th, 2029. City Clerk, can you give us an update on where we are with our applicants?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So we had 4 applications. We had 3 that have withdrawn, so you are left now with 1 applicant who is here to interview. That is Kaushal Varshney. So it is at the pleasure of the council what you'd like to proceed with. You can proceed with an interview, or you can direct me to open a recruitment if you'd like.
I would like to proceed with the interview since we had, last interview session, we had our senior commission, and we had several commissioners, applicants that backed out, and we still had 4 potential commissioners for 5 seats, and we went ahead with the interviews because, in all fairness, people apply in good faith, and we have an applicant here, and if we're not happy with the applicant, we can reopen it. So I'd like to move ahead if that's all right with the council.
Okay. So Kaushal is present. He has received the questions that you all will be asking, and he has been apprised of the process. 3 minutes for introduction, followed by your council questions, followed with a 1-minute closing remarks.
Okay, thank you. So, Kaushal, if you'd like to come forward, please. And you've been apprised of all that, so whenever you're ready, you can proceed. Let's see, let's turn that on. Okay, let's start again.
Done?
There we go. Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. I am Kaushal Varshney. I have been resident of Santa Clara for 25 years, and I own a home since 2005. Prior to moving in California, out in Santa Clara, I was born and raised in India, and I have 2 kids, and I have been working for last 10 years in Santa Clara. A company is based in Santa Clara Square only. And my career has been mostly in the tech industry, but outside my work, I have been part of many social activities and cultural activities. I brought a exhibition in Santa Clara, which ran in various libraries, also in City Hall, to educate people about Hindu civilization, directly coming from the indigenous people, not by some other parties. And also I presented I actually trained some kids here who are born here to present what is Diwali actually. It is not just like food and clothes and all those celebrations, but what is the real meaning of Diwali. So I presented that here also. And I was part of the organization that run many family gatherings in the Sunday, and we also expanded in many areas like Themin Park in River Mark and other places. So this is all my introduction. I want to continue this thing under the city itself with the Historic Landmark Commission, part of the Historic Landmark Commission.
Thank you, Kaushal. So we have a few questions for you, and then we'll give you the opportunity for a closing statement. We'll start with Councilmember Gonzalez.
All right. What is your favorite story or anecdote about Santa Clara's history?
Yes, thank you for the question. So it's as I become more interested about the history of Santa Clara, whenever I come here in City Council, I walk in the plaza and see all the plaques here about the Santa Clara. So I came to know that it's even though city was incorporated in 1851 or 1852, city charter was actually established in 1951 and first elected mayor was in 1869. But the real history is that it was a fertile valley. It was known for, generally if I see its historical name, it used to be called Valley of Heart Delights. Like it was full of orchard of various fruits and all the agriculture community. It became more residential community when after World War II, some veterans actually moved. And in fact, I live in one of those houses, which were built at that time, ranch-style houses. And I came here when in the planning commission call one time when the historical house was supposed to be converted in a 2-story house. And I know Council Raj Chahal was there in the planning commissioner. And that's what I like about the Santa Clara, that ultimately, even though there were two parties, but ultimately they came together on some common points and agreed to convert that house in a 2-story house. And if I go along, if we just completely stick to entire history, then the entire city is a historical place. You cannot change it, but it has been evolved. Railroads and technology, a lot of technology company. It is driven by all the technology companies. So we have to make some balance. So I like this fact about the Santa Clara history. This is the interesting fact that we still preserve the history in terms of, if you look at Santa Clara College, which becomes Santa Clara University, and that has some historical marks. Themin Park in River Mark area, it also bear the name of Themin people here.
Thank you. Councilmember Chahal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying, Mr. Kaushal. My question is, most of the houses in city of Santa Clara are 50-year-old. So what is considered historical and what is just plain old when you consider on Historical Landmark Commission point of view?
Thank you for asking this question. This is close to my heart. As I said, if you consider this way that all old houses are historical, then you cannot really evolve. So I personally see the value of a historical value if it is really related to a individual, a well-known individual who has contributed immensely for humanity, some scientist or somebody who has taken care of all the tribes here, like our father, Santa Clara, and if it has a specific mark about some our historical people here, that Loni tribes and Themans people, or maybe let's say some building which is related to a specific event, then we can keep it historical. But if let's say entire neighborhood is created for people who are coming here in Santa Clara to start their living, then we cannot say, no, there are 10,000 people who joined Santa Clara and there were 10,000 home builds, and we cannot keep anything. Perhaps we can keep one model home. But so that's my view here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy?
Yes, do you have any zoning code updates you'd like to see to better preserve historic properties?
Thank you for this question. This question, I think, kind of some extension of the last question. So in that case, rather than zoning, I would like to just identify some individual properties or places and preserve them, and making sure that those are, anybody who wants to, buy them, they know the fact that this is a historical preservation. These cannot be changed. Not the entire neighborhood, but the special. So maybe if a zoning code is not something like applicable to entire area, but a zoning code that can tag to a individual property or individual piece of land.
Thank you. So do you feel that some old motels on El Camino Real have historical significance? And what other building structures do you feel have historical significance in Santa Clara?
So for general motel and hotel which are quite old, because city is quite old, so there were hotel maybe built maybe 100 years ago. But if it does not have any historical significance, means is it connected to a specific event or a specific person? Then I would say it has a historical significance. Otherwise, I would actually call some neighbors there, that okay, discuss this, and do you think it has a historical significance? Many times, let us say some neighbor want to preserve it, all the neighbor 100% agreement, then city can go ahead and keep it as a historical monument. But if it is not, then things evolve, things change, people's minds change, so we can either wait for it. And as I said, some significant places, like if you look at the Santa Clara College or any place where we have those marking about the related to events here, historical events or historical person, those need to be preserved.
Very good. Thank you. So now's the time. Those are all of our questions. So now's the time for your closing statement. If you'd like to make a minute long, up to a minute closing statement.
I would like to really keep the historical significance of Santa Clara because it is quite old city. It's very soon it will be 200-year old. So we would like to keep those historical, specific historical, monuments preserved, and not only preserved but also popularized. Like we should have some small park around those places. And so those are the things which I would like to work upon. And as I said, my credential aspect, I have been very active already in city in terms of not only the working with some social cultural organizations, but also bringing those exhibitions and presentations in the city council. So I would like to claim that I should be a fit person for the Historical Landmark Commission.
Thank you. Perfect timing. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Council? We have one applicant. Seems very qualified for this position. Do I hear a motion to
Make a
appoint
motion
him?
to appoint Kaushal Varshney for HLC Commission.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second for Kaushal. I think he's quite qualified, so I'll be supporting that. Thank you for applying and all the work you've done in the city so far. We really appreciate your involvement. So we have a motion and a second. Councilmember Hardy.
Thank you. I will admit I'm just a little uncomfortable. I may be really protective because I did start on HLC, but I guess I'm a little concerned that we only have one applicant that showed up. I'm a little concerned that I saw a lot of and heard a lot of things about the Cultural Commission and wondered if maybe this person wouldn't do better on Parks and Rec or something. So I guess I would like to see us go out once again just to ask for more applications to have a better comparison, because we have no comparison. And that is my one concern, so I'm not certain I feel like I can support the motion. I would like to go out one more time. Thank you.
Okay. I just want to reiterate, we did the same thing just the last commission appointments, where we had less than one applicant per seat on the senior commission, and the council didn't express any concern at that point for the senior commission. I think, in all fairness, this applicant applied. There were other applicants that applied as well. He came in good faith. He's more than qualified. They backed out for whatever reason, which happens a lot. And I think that if we have an applicant that's willing to serve, he has applied for other commissions as well, probably cultural in the past. But I think that it's, more than fair. He should be appointed this evening. Councilmember Jane?
He did apply for the other position, Parks and Rec, for tonight. So if we were to appoint him here and then appoint him there, how would that work?
I don't believe if he's appointed to this, he would not be eligible.
Right, the practice hasn't been, the council's practice has not been to appoint to several commissions, as the council has opted to allow for diversity and allow other folks to serve, but that is at your pleasure, because we don't have a written policy, but it has been a practice of the council to just appoint to one commission.
May I ask the applicant, if you were appointed to this commission, would you remove your application from the Parks Commission?
Yes, I will remove my application from Park and Rec. Anyway, I will be working with Park and Rec for conducting next, so.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to appoint Kaushal to this position. Please register your vote. And that passes 4-1. Thank you very much and congratulations. Thank you. So that's one less Parks and Recreation application. All right. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to move now to the Parks and Recreation. Action to conduct applicant interviews and appoint one applicant to the Parks and Recreation Commission to serve one full term ending June 30th, 2029. City Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So yes, like you said, you will be appointing for one full term ending June 30th, 2029 to the Parks and Recreation Commission. And your first applicant is Monique Hovey-Coate. And these applicants have also been provided the questions ahead of time and as well know what the process is. 3 minutes opening statement, followed by council questions, followed by 1 minute closing remarks. Monique?
Thank you, Monique. Please come forward. Welcome. So have you heard, you have your 3-minute opening statement, and then we'll have a list of questions for you, and then a closing statement as well. So whenever you're ready.
Again, my name is Monique Hovey-Coate. I am a newer resident to the city of Santa Clara. I grew up in southeastern Minnesota on the Mississippi River. I lived there until 2007. I moved to Boise that year and joined the Army. I served in the Army from 2007 until 2014. I served at 3 different duty assignments throughout my time in the service, and so was able to experience a variety of cultures and community programs around the world. After the Army, I used my GI Bill to go to school. I attended Murray State University in Kentucky, where I received my Bachelor's of Science in Equine Science. I followed that up with a Master's in Agriculture, where I focused on animal welfare. And after that, I attended Purdue University, where I pursued a PhD in agricultural science, education, and communication. After I passed my preliminary exams, I took an opportunity to work for the DoD in DC with the caisson horses that helped pull President Jimmy Carter, for example, and attends the funerals of specific burials inside that cemetery. That job was not the one that was promoted to me, so I took an opportunity to benefit from the experience. I spent 18 months in that post and then decided to return to my PhD program where I could finish my dissertation. I took the opportunity at that point to move to Santa Clara with my husband. He grew up here in Santa Clara. We are living in his childhood home here in Santa Clara, and I have a love for the city. I restart my program in the fall and saw an opportunity to find a way back to serving the community when this circulated in my email inbox, and I decided to pursue it to provide a diversity of background to the commission. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you for applying. So we're going to start with our questions. Councilmember Jane.
Thank you for applying. What Parks and Rec programs have you participated in, and in what capacity? Which programs do you think need to be expanded?
So specific to the city of Santa Clara, I attended the park opening at Central Park, the playground that opened last fall. That's a beautiful playground, and I was really impressed with the community event that was set up there. I ferry my cousins to and from the adjoining Parks and Recreation. They attend piano and dance there. I attended their Wizard of Oz youth event here recently, and I'm a huge user of all of the trails and the dog parks within the city limits. As for your second question, I grew up in a community that had a wonderful summer rec and just youth sports programs, and when I assess the state of the children's programs in this city, I'm impressed with the amazing assortment of offerings for youth. In that collection, I was interested in the Parents' Night Out, and that got me thinking about the limited offerings for adults. I think there's an opportunity there, given the focus on seniors, to provide an information source to adults in this community that could really bring the citizens back to the community and provide a source that they can trust for information. There are ways to support citizens of Silicon Valley in terms of just adult education, sewing, basic skills, cooking. We could just partner that with the future question about the community garden. There's opportunities to connect with adults that I think we could expand on. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Gonzalez.
Thank you. Thank you for applying. Do you have any suggestions on how to increase the number of community gardens in the city?
Thank you for that question. I believe that accessibility and volunteers could address this question. I often walk by the Eddie Sousa Park that has the community garden there, and I'm really impressed with the facilities and the layout of that park. I think it makes it an awesome resource for families and disabled persons, given the adjoining parking and bathroom facilities. And so I think that there are other locations within the city of Santa Clara where similar investments could be made to build a similar layout that could be accessible, and I believe the accessibility will help that. The volunteer program that helps support the San Jose Rose Garden, I think, is an opportunity to sort of imitate that and bring that volunteers' focus into improving the maintenance of those parks. And I think there are programs within the city, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, 4-H, that could help as a starting point to create a volunteer resource network to support the parks, the gardens.
Thank you. Councilmember Chahal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying, Ms. Monique. Do you believe Santa Clara needs more parks and open space? And overall, how well do you think Santa Clara does in implementing its parks?
Santa Clara's parks are what inspired me to pursue this opportunity. They are really impressive. In general, most cities benefit from more parks and open space. There are a lot of data that show that open space promotes health and reduces pollution. However, it's notable that there are more than 50 facilities that the city of Santa Clara is already maintaining, and so I think there's an opportunity here to focus on maintaining those with the resources we have, as well as expanding the open and green space within the parks that exist. It's notable that on the map, the biggest green space in the city of Santa Clara is Great America, and so I think that any opportunity to sort of just expand the actual green space to look more like some of the golf courses and cemeteries would be a wonderful opportunity to increase community participation in events. And that's what I would focus on. And so, yes, I think they're also doing amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy?
Yes. Do you have any comments about the status of the International Swim Center and our pools in general?
I have walked by your pool, and so I was really impressed with the size of it. My husband had an anecdote about how fun it was for him as a kid being able to use that facility. When I read about that facility, I think that it's important to invest in that pool, and I'm glad that the city is doing that. I grew up with a really amazing municipal pool, even though my hometown only had 2,500 people, and my family was low income. We were able to take advantage not only of the swim lessons, but of a way to get cool on the few hot days that I had in Minnesota growing up there. And so I think the investment is important. I'm glad the city is moving forward with that. And I can tell you from my experience in government contracting that my first and early layman's recommendation would be to continue considerate oversight of the timelines and the resources coming from the contracting involved with that project. It can quickly spiral out of control. I'd also be interested in learning more about Montague, and as well as how we can enhance the 2 pools that are currently open.
Thank you.
So the last question I have is, how do you approach working with others whose views may differ from your own? And why do you believe having a wide range of perspectives is important in shaping recommendations for the city?
Thank you for that. I think this is a great question because my background in agricultural communication has taught me that the first step to collecting and working with diverse input is to start with identifying and prioritizing overlapping goals and priorities. So that is where I would start, given my education, is I would reach out and find out what their priorities and goals are, and then identify how my interests overlap or the city's interests overlap with that, and then expand from there. It's important to build a locus of trust so that you can bring that person along with you. Diversity enhances innovation and promotes more successful outcomes, and so I think that it's important to hear a diverse range of input and then work with that input to improve upon the existing goals. And so that success starts with gathering all of those input and ideas from the community.
Thank you. So that's it for the questions. We are ready for your closing statement when you're ready. Thank you.
So as I spoke earlier, I applied for this position because I believe that I can provide a diverse history in terms of opportunities from not only across America but around the world, in terms of providing input and how to work with diverse backgrounds. I believe that this will align great with my agricultural education and communication background, and I know that it will align with the completion of my program. I'm hoping to use this as a springboard into getting back into community work, and I am happy that I have an opportunity to apply.
Thank you, and thank you so much for applying. If you are welcome to stay here. We'll be making a decision after our last interview today. All right, thank you.
Your next applicant is Edward Souza.
Mr. Souza, please come forward. Welcome. So our process is 3 minutes, up to 3 minutes. We have the questions and then a closing statement. So whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you. Mayor, council members, my name is Ed Souza. I'm a lifelong resident of Santa Clara, and for 30 years, I devoted my career to Parks and Recreation Management. I started with the County of Santa Clara Parks and Recreation Department in 1978 as a park ranger, senior park ranger, program coordinator, management analyst, and finally, when the end of my career, I was the customer and business services manager. I was responsible for fiscal operations, department training, special use, special events, human resources, and IT. I have a master's degree in recreation management, and I've devoted my entire career to working with others in providing parks and recreation facilities. Most recently, since I retired in 2010, I've been an active volunteer at the Senior Center, working in the travel program, in the fitness center, and I volunteered as an office specialist in the front office. I think I bring a wealth of knowledge to the city with information and a background in park maintenance, park operations, fiscal, and diversity. I have a master's degree in recreation management, and part of that, my master's program was understanding the recreation needs of a diverse community. And this was probably one of my greatest accomplishments over the years is working with diverse communities and learning about how we can bring recreational needs to the entire community.
Thank you. Thank you for that opening statement. So we're going to start with our questions. Councilmember Jane.
Thank you for applying. What parks and rec programs have you participated in, and in what capacity? Which
Okay, I have worked with the staff at the Senior Center in helping them develop programs there. I've been an active member of the volunteer staff working with the travel program. And I also have worked with the health and wellness fair, as well as worked with outreach to other parts of the community.
And which programs do you think should be expanded in our Parks and Rec?
As a grandfather, I have learned that youth programs are a key essential of developing the youth of the community. I would actually like to see an expansion in summer camps and after-school programs so that kids have an opportunity to have things to do after school, and develop their social needs.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Gonzalez.
Thank you for applying. Do you have any suggestions on how to increase the number of community gardens in the city?
Yes. We have a very strong partnership with the Santa Clara Unified School District. And there are many open spaces that are adjacent to our parklands in the city. Let me give you an example. I live across the street from War Memorial Community Park. Immediately behind War Memorial Park is a parcel of about 2 to 3 acres that a large part of it is not being used for practice by the Santa Clara Lions football program. I would estimate that there's an area of about 7,500, 8,000 square feet that would make an ideal community garden right behind War Memorial. And not only that, but there's high density around the area, and it would give people that live in the apartments, duplexes, fourplexes, that live in the adjacent area a place where they could garden.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Chahal?
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for applying, Mr. Ed. Do you believe Santa Clara needs more parks and open space? And overall, how well do you think Santa Clara is implementing its parks program?
To answer the second part of your question first, I think the city of Santa Clara does an excellent job in maintaining and providing programs for the community. I'm a park person, so I would never get up here and say, no, we don't need more parks. However, I know that the park maintenance staff and the park operations staff, recreation staff, is spread pretty thin. And I believe that we need to develop some sustainable funding programs for the park maintenance and recreation programs. But generally speaking, I believe the city does an excellent job in providing facilities and programs for the community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy?
Yes, thank you. Do you have any comments about the status of the International Swim Center and our pools in general?
Yes, I'm actually really excited about seeing the master plan for the International Swim Center implemented. And, fortunately that there's going to be bond money available to help rehab the International Swim Center. I would like to see a return of international level swimming and diving programs back in Santa Clara. I think it would be a great thing to put Santa Clara back in the international sports focus, that we would not only do a great thing for the athletes that are here in this area, but we would be able to provide a facility, a first-class facility for international athletes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so last question. How do you approach working with others whose views may differ from your own? And why do you believe having a wide range of perspectives is important in shaping recommendations for the city?
Thank you. Well, it goes back to my working relationship with the County of Santa Clara. I was the EOE officer for the Department of Parks and Recreation. I was involved in the Unity and Diversity programs, and my master's project was titled Understanding the Recreational Needs of a Diverse Community. And I learned a lot about how, especially in Santa Clara County, how the community is rapidly changing, becoming much more diverse, and the needs of a diverse community needs to be addressed and focused on. I work well with others. I was a manager for 5 years. I was a park ranger for 18 years, and I developed many skills in working with others.
Thank you. So that's it for your questions. When you're ready, we'd love to hear your closing statement.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to meet with you tonight. As I said earlier, I think I bring a really diverse level of experience in parks and recreation to the city of Santa Clara. Not only do I have experience in park maintenance, but I've also worked in the operations portion of it, administration, and planning. I've worked on several master plans for the County of Santa Clara, two of which were the master planning project for the Coyote Creek multi-use trail, and also Marshall Cottle County Park.
Thank you very much, Mr. Souza, for your interview. If you'd like to stay with us, we'll be making our decision after the last applicant. And I can already tell this is going to be a tough decision. Okay, next, City Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Asim Vaid will not be participating, so we'll move on to Anurag Disik.
Next.
Anurag?
Anurag. Hello, welcome.
Hello, dignitaries. Thank you for the support and consideration. I'm applying for Parks and Recreation position. As an avid nature admirer with experience of about 80 US national parks and more across the 4 continents, I am confident to have a refined perspective as far as parks and nature is considered. Approach is all about think local, think small, and big things would come along the way. This could be achieved by applying Kaizen or continuous improvement theory in any of the city processes. And with that, I'm open for the questionnaire and responses.
Very good, thank you. We're going to start with Councilmember Jane.
Thank you for applying. What Parks and Rec programs have you participated in, and in what capacity? And then which programs do you think should be expanded?
Okay, I have participated in July 4th events, holiday tree lighting, and many more related to children as part of a city resident, but not as a part of contributor. Yeah, thank you.
An expansion of programs?
There are many that I can expand in the coming times. As an example, a lot depends on the needs, the resident needs, and some of them could be, I have filled a survey as well. Like one great thing that we could enhance is like the shells in Foster City. That's a kid biking playground or so. That is one area that we can expand on, and many more operations related activities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Gonzalez?
Thank you for applying. Do you have any suggestions on how to increase the number of community gardens in the city?
Hello. Yes, please. Eventually, it all depends on what we currently have and what would be the population forecast and what is the resident expectations. If I'm the member, I would examine all the requirements and proceed further. How to expand the number of community gardens? We can evaluate and try to reclaim moderately utilized areas from businesses, or there are many large one-level parking structures that could be examined for adding the parking space. But eventually, it all depends on data. Once I have access to data, I would be in a best position to expand. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Chahal?
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for applying, Anurag. Do you believe Santa Clara needs more parks and open space? And how well do you think Santa Clara maintains its parks and program?
The parks and program overall really great. We are fortunate to have the very active city team, and there is always an scope of enhancement. In my view, there is a need to standardize. There are some parks that are really great. Central Park is an exemplary example for all of us. We can look into other parks and enhance them accordingly. And it all depends on, it's not only about development. As a visitor, I also see some needs enhancement. So one has to evaluate development, operations, as well as cost-saving measures every quarter. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy?
Do you have any comments about the status of the International Swim Center and our pools in general?
We have at least about 3 swimming pool locations. Some of them are really doing great. Some were closed throughout the lockdown and need a significant enhancement. In my view, there's a need to standardize within the city that all pools are of equal grade. For the International Swimming Center, it would be great if we have some good long-term 20, 30 years of planning. Regarding others, as an example, Mary Gomez swimming pool versus Warburton pool, a few may have flippers, others might have pads. So we need to have some kind of consistency in the upcoming planning. Thanks.
All right, last question. How do you approach working with others whose views may differ from your own? And why do you believe having a wide range of perspectives is important in shaping recommendations for the city?
About me, it's all about patience and perseverance and presence of policies versus practicing policies. It can best be attained if a consensus is attained. Should there be lack of consensus, we have to gauge all the ROI or opportunity cost or the individual's preferences and then make the decision accordingly. Any decision made with consensus is always a great thing to have. And eventually, should there be any lack of consensus, I, if hired, would be empowered to make a decision that would be the best for the city as well as the community.
Thank you, Mr. Dixit. If you're ready, we'll be happy to hear your closing statement.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the time and opportunity. I have tried to enter the public service. This is one of my applications, as I'm perturbed by some new problems we all face, the world is facing right now, and I wish that not to happen in future in our city. And I have also in parallel made an attempt to elevate the middle school rankings of Santa Clara Unified School District. If in future I request to please allow me to step in your shoes, I will come along with my accomplishments to you all. Thank you so much for the time. And at this stage, I request all to please hold my hands and teach me how to walk. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for applying. And you're welcome to stay with us. We just have one more applicant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And your next applicant is David Curtis.
Welcome, Mr. Curtis, and I think you might know the drill. We have an opening statement of up to 3 minutes, and then questions, and then a closing statement. So whenever you're ready.
Sure. First of all, thank you very much, Mayor and council members. Wearing this, my kids are actually in a championship game right now, playing Los Altos. So right after this, I'm running back to the game, but this is too important for me. I've been resident here for over 27 years. I know a few of you. I coach both West Side Little League. This year, I coach T-ball as well as majors. In the past, I had minors. I have also coached 4 years of youth soccer as well. I have 2 sons. One is 12 years old, and one is 6. Really coming in here is part of the reason I'm coming here. I was active as community leader for 5 months from November 2024 through April 2025, discussing the field use and Wade Brummel policy, which you guys passed. Thank you very much for that. I want to see more parks being used by the residents. Right now, I'm using probably about 6 parks right now. My family attends the Santa Clara Arts and Wine Festival, the Christmas tree lighting, concerts in the park. I want to use my 15 years of business and development and sales skills to make sure that we have true collaboration, communication, teamwork, accountability, and also mentoring and develop other committee members at the same time. Things like Kaizen events. I've heard some questions coming up. I'll wait for those, but there's things that you can do as a team to make sure you're listening to everybody in the community as well as making sure you're making sure everybody's included. So I do a lot of youth, but we use the dog parks. There's also seniors that use our parks. So I'd like to continue the great things that I'm seeing. We have the best parks in the area. I grew up in this area my whole life, so I grew up in San Jose, but I can tell you Santa Clara has the best parks. I want to make sure I can give back to the community. I am on the salary setting commission as well. If this conflicts, I'll drop off of that one. But I want to do more for the community and get more involved and learn a little bit more on other areas where I haven't maybe done so much. We did the kids soccer, which was also part of the Parks and Recs. We use the fields. I'm using the fields probably 6 months out of the years for sporting activities. I want to make sure those are kept up as they are. But again, really expanding, our youth programs to really get the kids out of the house. I want to make sure that, they are working in teammates. This is when they're learning a lot, how to work as teammates, how to collaborate. Not to argue, but how to debate positively to get things done. And I think that's important in some of these ages for kids. And that's why I give up, 5-6 days out of the week for youth sports. And I think they're very important. But again, this is very important to me, the Parks and Recs. This is probably the most important committee that I could apply for. So I would like to thank you for your consideration and take any questions that you have. Thank you.
We have about 5 questions, so Councilmember Jane.
Yeah, thank you for applying. I think you've explained programs you've participated in, but I'm going to ask the question. What Parks and Rec programs have you participated in, and in what capacity, and which programs do you think need expanding?
So taking a look at that, so I did a lot of work where I wasn't in the community, but I was a community leader, at least 8 of us that were at the Wade Brummel and the field use. That was 5 months of lunchtime activities, making sure we are opening this up to low-income families. That was very, very important. That's why I got on the Wade Brummel. The kids soccer. The other programs I'm in are not Parks and Recs. We just play on the Parks and Recs field, which are the best fields. I would like to see myself coming on, how do we look at some of the softball, baseball fields, summer camp, and after-school programs as well to keep the kids, again, not away from homework, but off the Xbox and PlayStation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Gonzalez.
Thank you for applying. Do you have any suggestions of how to increase the number of community gardens in the city?
Sure. So first thing I would do is see if we can meet with the community, send out some emails and find out what, how many people are interested in this, making sure that we, also have the funds to do this. So sitting down with the committee, making sure we have the funds available, understanding how many of these community gardens we could put in place, and then finding the best location, working with community leaders and the residents to see where it could be used successfully. I'd hate to use money from one area and see a nice garden go up, but nobody uses it. So I think a lot of it is going to be understanding where the needs are, what the budget is for that, and making sure we make the right decisions as a team to get those completed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Chahal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for applying, Mr. David. Do you believe Santa Clara needs more parks and open spaces? And overall, how well do you think Santa Clara does in implementing its parks programs?
So Central Park is beautiful. The new, rainbow, everything that went in there was perfect. I see a lot of families. It's packed all the time. I'd like to see that continuing as well. I'd like to see any aging playgrounds that aren't being used or old and need the update, making sure that happens. I can tell you that Parks and Recs takes care of the Carmichael Field. It is the best baseball field. It is beautiful. And the reason why I want to get on here as well is the school board is looking to take some of these parks back. And I'd hate to lose them, so I'd like to use my voice and help to make sure that if we are going to close some of these, we open up some T-ball and some farm fields, whether it's Central Park or other places. So I really want to expand. Same thing with softball. So it's not just, soccer has some great fields at Reed. So that's fantastic for Recs and the SC Lions. But I want to make sure that any rec teams, these are kids that, are in the middle. They're not the best, they're not the worst, but they have places to play, whether it be softball, baseball, soccer, basketball. So I think we have the best parks, as I mentioned, and they are very well kept. I know we don't have enough, and we need to probably add some more, but we're doing well with what we have. The parks are beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy.
Yes. Do you have any comments about the status of the International Swim Center and our pools in general?
Sure. So I know that's been closed for a while. We have the bond that went through. I was pushing that as much as we can to get that done. I used to swim for 4 years, had CCS times, 500-meter free. So I spoke to a lot of people that use that facility. We need to get that back. But at the same time, getting on Parks and Recs is where I want to get in there, making sure things like this don't happen, that we're putting money aside and we're maintaining it properly. And then when we get the bids in, then we have the right people that are repairing it. And we do our due diligence to make sure when it's done correctly. If not, we hold them liable. So there's a lot of work that still has to be done. We have the bond that can do that. Let's make sure it's done right. It's a beautiful facility. We need to keep it, and that investment is worthwhile.
So last question, how do you approach working with others whose views differ from your own? And why do you believe having a wide range of perspectives is important in shaping recommendations for the city?
Sure, you're not always going to get along with everybody. What you want to do is hear both sides of the argument. I'm not here for David Curtis, I'm here for the city. So I want to hear both sides. I may be incorrect, and listening to people might, sway me into that area as we debate and discuss what should be happening on this. As well as diverse, I like to see diversity. As one of the only gay coaches in Santa Clara, I think diversity is very, very important. I want to see other kids that can look up and say, oh, he's coaching, I could play on the team. So when you have a Parks and Recs, it's good to have people from all elements, whether it's sports or it's dance or whatever it may be. You want people on there so we can make sure we are not excluding any of the residents in any of the programs.
Thank you, and I think that's it for the questions. So when you're ready for your closing statement, we're ready to hear it.
Sure. So again, Santa Clara is my home. Love it for over 27 years. I want to make sure we continue, not just with my kids, but the kids I coach and their kids coming up, making sure that we have the fields and everything's ready to use. Youth sports is important, but I've heard a lot about community gardens and other areas where people may not play sports, but we need to also cater to everybody and make sure we're looking at all residents and what they're looking for when they go to the parks as well. I also want to continue the great, Art and Wine Festival, the concerts in the park. Those are all things I enjoy with my family. I want to make sure those continue as well. So it's important to give some time, get on the committee. There's also one thing looking at, there's Kaizen events. So what you do is, as in business that we use that, you come together. You might have a room of 10 to 12 people where you start discussing the A's and B's and what's in the middle, where you can come together and discuss some of the areas where you're on the outside and how you can come together with a conclusion and the proper outcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right.
Appreciate your application, and we are welcome to stay. We're going to make a decision right now. That's okay. I know. Good luck to the team. Go Santa Clara. Okay. All right. City Clerk.
Okay, Madam Mayor, so you've interviewed 4 applicants pursuant to your the rules or the policy we have on how the council votes. You may cast a vote for the one position, or if you would, however else you'd like to proceed.
I would suggest we do 2, and then get the highest vote getter. Well, there's 5 of us, so there shouldn't be a tie.
Okay.
I don't think.
Sure.
Let's vote for our top 2.
Top 2.
If we can. This is really hard. Everyone was excellent, excellent. This is one of our hardest ones, so I have to tell you all, you made it very hard for us. Could easily fill a commission with just the applicants this evening. So let's start with the top 2.
Sure. Would you like me to give you a few moments to gather your thoughts?
Is everyone ready? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So my top 2 in the order is Edward and David.
Okay. Councilmember Shahal?
Ed Souza and Monique.
Councilmember Hardy?
Monique and Ed Souza.
Mayor Gilmore?
David and Monique.
And Councilmember Jane?
Edward Souza and Monique Hovey Cote.
Thank you.
I think I know, but
So we have a tie between Monique and Edward.
All right, so both, again, excellent candidates. So between Monique and Edward, we each have one vote then.
Okay. Councilmember Gonzalez.
Edward?
Councilmember Shahal.
Edward?
Councilmember Hardy.
Monique?
Mayor Gilmore.
Monique,
Councilmember Jane.
Edward.
may I have a motion to appoint Edward to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a full term ending June 30th, 2029?
Make a motion to appoint Edward to the Park and Rec Commission for a full term. And we also have alternate.
And the alternate being Monique.
Alternate being Monique for next.
And so what that means, that's our eligibility list. If anyone on the Parks Commission steps down in the next 6 months, then you would automatically be appointed to the Parks Commission.
So
Thank you for the reminder on
the
that.
motion contains both the parts, basically.
Second.
Please register your vote. And that passes unanimously. Thank you. Congratulations, Edward Koschel. Monique, thank you. Mr. Dixit, thank you for applying. David Curtis, everyone who was here, thank you all. We appreciate it. It's really tough for us. I hope there's more positions opening soon, so I know at least Mr. Dixit has another position on our bond oversight committee, which is going to be quite active, so thank you for your service there as well. All right, so may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. Please register your vote. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.